Consider the lilies, how they grow. They toil not, they spin not. And yet I say unto you that Solomon in all his glory was not arrayed like one of these. If then God so clothed the grass which is today in the field and tomorrow is cast into the oven, how much more will he clothe you, O ye of little faith? And seek not ye what ye shall eat or what ye shall drink, neither be ye of doubtful mind. For all these things do the nations of the world seek after, and your Father knoweth that ye have need of these things. But rather seek ye the kingdom of God, and all these things shall be added unto you. Fear not, little flock, for it is your Father's good pleasure to give you the kingdom. Sell that ye have, and give alms. Provide yourselves bags which wax not old, a treasure in the heavens that faileth not, where no thief approacheth, neither moth corrupteth. For where your treasure is, there will your heart be also.
It's the book of Hebrews 6 and 17. Get right to the point, wherein the Heavenly Father, or God, which his name is Yahweh, his son's name is Yahushai, wherein God willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise. Who's that? That's the nation of Israel, beginning with the elect. The heirs of promise. Heir means someone who's set to inherit something. The first thing we're going to inherit, those of us that are part of the elect, is salvation by Yahushai into those chariots. Then we're going to inherit those new bodies that the Apostle Paul talked about. As a matter of fact, the Apostle Paul said in 1 Corinthians 15, we shall be changed in the twinkling of an eye. Like that, we're going to get these new indestructible bodies. In other words, we're never going to die. Death is going to be a thing of the past. So we're going to be like gods. Psalms 82 and 6. You know, we're going to have godlike powers in the flesh. We're going to have godlike powers in the flesh. I just gave you a couple of examples of what we're set to inherit. That's why it says heirs of promise. So let's read it again. Wherein the Heavenly Father willing more abundantly to show unto the heirs of promise, and hopefully that's us, the immutability of his counsel. Now let's look up that word. That's a big word, man. Immutability. Let's define that word. Immutability comes from the word immutable. It says unchanging over time or unable to be changed. So the Heavenly Father's word is unable to be changed. It cannot change.
For as the rain cometh down and the snow from heaven, and returneth not thither, but watereth the earth, and maketh it bring forth and bud, that it may give seed to the sower and bread to the eater, so shall my word be that goeth forth out of my mouth. It shall not return unto me void, but it shall accomplish that which I please, and it shall prosper in the thing whereto I sent it.
All right, Shalom. All right, Shalom. First and foremost, I would like to give all praise and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, Bahashem, Kakadash, and double honors unto the apostles and the elders, GMS, who rule well, teach well, being great examples for his younger brothers. And peace and blessing, salutation to Hopeful Lake out there pushing his word in truth and in sincerity across the four winds in the name of Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua, pushing to get up out of here. Shalom to the Hopeful Lake, the believers, the listeners whom have came back to the obedience of the scriptures through faith in Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahushua. All right. And what I want to get into tonight, I have a documentary, I want to go into dealing with, the illusion, all right, of freedom, all right, through democracy, okay? And we're going to go through it because it's extremely important, to understand, all right, this beast system, that we live in, okay? And democracy is a major part of the image, of the beast, okay? So I'm going to cue this up, and then we'll start off in Revelation, the 20th chapter.
there is the kind of
and all these things are prophesied, and this is why, as a thing been going out lately, about us understanding more than the ancient prophets. Well, there's things that didn't exist, during the time of the ancient prophets. Okay. So what we have now is everything is full circle, all the technology, John the Revelator, all right, he never seen, RFID technology, okay, until he seen it in the vision, so he couldn't fully understand it, okay. Our forefathers never seen nukes, okay. That's why they were described as arrows or flying swords. So now, all right, we're full circle in this time because it's time for deliverance, in which we need, all right, the complete understanding. And this is why we say we have 100% truth of the visions and the things that was revealed to our forefathers. We fully understand these things now. Okay? Get this, as the brother said. All right, this is the brother GMS Shar. All right. Lakama. All right, Daniel 12:4 says, "But thou, O Daniel, shut up the words and seal the book, even to the time of the end." And we're in the end now. Okay? So the book was sealed. The full understanding was sealed. Okay? Until this time, our forefathers, they understood parts. Okay? Our the apostles, they understood portions, okay, of what they need to understand at that time. But now we have it fully. And it says, many shall run to and fro, and knowledge shall be increased. Okay? And we're in a time where knowledge has increased extremely. That's why now you can listen to brothers through the spirit of Yahweh Shem Shai for 6 months and be on the level, man. Because so much information is coming out. So much knowledge is coming out. So much understanding is coming out on an hourly basis, man. Okay? As we're doing these videos, there's hundreds, thousands of brothers, researching something else to bring out, man. Okay? And that's all through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Shai. But I want to go here first, just to set, the tone. All right? Let's go here in Revelation. And now we can navigate through the scriptures and explain what's happening in real time. Okay? This is the book of Revelation, verse 20, verse 7 says, "And when 1,000 years are expired, Satan shall be loosed out of his prison." Okay? Now, what is this speaking of? Okay, the 1,000 years period is speaking of what they call the Dark Ages. You see, when Jake, all right, was dominating the earth, you had Jake being the Tsars in Russia, the Caesars in Rome, and the monarchies, and what they call England, Britain. Okay, and so you have that line of kings, going through King James, in Ireland, Scotland. Okay, Jake was in power. You see, and Esau, Edom, he was put away because it was time for him, all right, to be removed where he couldn't influence the earth. See, he was in the prison because he wasn't able to influence the earth. He wasn't in a big cell, all right. He was pushed out of power, okay, and he wasn't able to come back into power until the Lord allowed him during the Renaissance, man. Okay, now the prophecies say what he will go forth doing when he will come out. Verse 8, "And shall go out to deceive the nations which are in the four quarters of the earth." So this man would deceive the earth. Okay, and the major part of his deception is Christianity and democracy, man. Because through Christianity, he gets you to love everything, accept anything. Okay, the law of the Bible, through Christianity, he has voided out the law of the Bible, but through democracy, he infuses his wicked laws, man. He'll tell you not to obey the law of the scriptures, okay? But then he makes his laws to obey. Remember, the juice was mandated. Okay, for people who was perfectly healthy, man, he mandated the juice. So this same man will tell you not to follow the laws of the Bible, which enhance, okay, your existence in the earth tremendously. He'll tell you to void that out, but he'll implement through democracy his wickedness, man. Okay? And it says, and shall go out to deceive the nation which are in the four quarters of the earth, Gog and Magog, which is speaking of Russia, to gather them to battle, the number of whom is the sand of the sea. So from the Renaissance period, he will go forth deceiving the nations, okay? And it's going to his all right, Renaissance is going to end in the war with Russia, which is going to be the war to end all wars, man. All right, World War III. Okay? But we're living in a time of great deception. Okay? And through democracy and their freedom and that illusion of freedom, okay, a lot of people are deceived, man. Okay? And the vote and people voting because your vote don't matter. Esau just wants to see who still is buying into the system, man. The voting is just like a heat check. Presidents aren't elected, they're selected. Okay? And voting is nothing but a heat check to see who's still buying in the system. Because if you're voting, that shows how lost you are, man. Okay? If you're still voting, you don't have a clue what's going on in the earth. You can call yourself woke all you want, all right? But if you stand in the line with a mask on and voting, that shows, all right, that where you at, man. Okay? The nigga vote, you know, when they see Terrence Johnson on the ballot, yeah, we got these niggas, man. Okay? and who's the biggest Democrat in the earth? All right? You Israelites, man. This is Isaiah 60:2. It says, for behold, the darkness shall cover the earth, and gross darkness the people. Okay, and Christianity and democracy is a major gross darkness that has covered the earth, man. Okay, the illusion of freedom, the illusion of equality and equal rights is a major gross darkness that has covered the earth, man. But the Lord shall arise upon thee, and his glory shall be seen upon thee. Okay, and that's of the elect. So in the midst of this darkness, an elect, okay, will have the light. You see? In the midst of all this darkness that we see, the elect, okay, will come to the light, man. And this is what we're doing, preaching light unto our people in the midst of darkness, man. Okay? Let's get this in Isaiah 2, man. All right, because there's no one that's a bigger Democrat, all right, than Jake, man. Okay, losses he can goddamn be. You see, nigga in line with a work shirt and a mask, you know, going to vote for who, and they just put any and Joe Biden, you know, when you niggas voted for Biden, Esau knew he had you niggas, man, and that's why he just came with the freaky deaky. Okay, let's see if I can find. I think is it 42. Yep. This is Isaiah 42:18. It says, hear ye deaf and look, ye blind that ye may see. Who is blind but my servant, or is deaf as my messenger that I sent? Who is blind as he that is perfect, and blind as the Lord's servant? Okay, and Israel was we as a nation was meant to be the Lord's servant in the earth. Okay, we will be rulers in the earth, but servants to Yahweh Bashim al-Shah. That's how it was set up for us to be. Okay, that governing nation in the earth. Okay, but the Lord, all right, through disobedience, man, people have lost their way and become blind and deaf. You know, we always blind and deaf, man. Okay, but through, all right, the promise of the Comforter, through Yahweh Shai sacrifice, the elect have the understanding now, man. Okay, verse 20 says, seeing many things, but thou observest not, opening the ears, but he heareth not, man. Okay, and this is the condition of the masses of our people. They're seeing these things going on in the earth, and Jake can't put 2 and 2 together, man. Okay, Jake can't put 1 and 1 together. You see, hearing all these things, you know, all the prophecy, all the understanding, all the alternative news, all the truthers, all the, you know, all these is happening, and Jake still don't get it, man. Okay, and I'm interested to see, you know, what Democrat they gonna give you niggas this time, man. Okay, so let's go here. I'm gonna cue up this video, you know, and shalom to all you brothers, you know, you elder brothers, man, you know, shalom, you know. So let's get into the video. You know, we'll go from there, you know, brothers, you know, post precepts as you see fit. All right, and like I said, this is from their channel I've been watching lately. What's the guy's handle? Academy of Ideas. You know, he been having, you know, I watched a few videos and they've been pretty informative, like I say, straight to the point, you know. So I'll put the link in case you want to check out a few of the videos. Let's go here. Let's see, copy. All right, so let's get into it.
There is the kind of state that seeks always to extend its administrative powers and functions into all realms of society, always seeking a higher degree of centralization in the conduct of its operations, always tending toward a wider measure of politicization of social, economic, and cultural life. It builds up a sense of the absolute identity of state and society. Nothing outside the state, everything in the state. This passage was written by the American sociologist Robert Nisbet to describe a nation on the path to totalitarian rule. As a form of government that first emerged in the 20th century, totalitarianism was primarily exemplified by two regimes, Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia. The rise of totalitarianism and the misery and suffering it produced revealed to the world the grave dangers that arise when government power becomes too extensive. But while most people are aware of the atrocities committed by the totalitarian regimes of the 20th century, few seem concerned that the growth of government power in the West today could lead to anything remotely similar. Rather, many believe that the existence of democracy acts as an effective barrier to the rise of overly oppressive regimes. But is this really the case? Or is democracy, as currently practiced in the West, promoting the rise of tyranny rather than preventing it? The purpose of this video will be to examine this question. In the process, we will look at two potential threats which face modern democracies, namely, a tyranny of the masses and the rise of what has been called a soft totalitarianism, resulting from the incessant growth of centralized government power. As we will argue, it is the latter threat, not a tyranny of the masses, which is the most serious in the present day. Democracy is such a revered institution that many see it as responsible for much of the prosperity and stability experienced in the world today. With the dominance of this one-sided view, it may be surprising that many great minds, including Plato, Aristotle, Benjamin Franklin, Thomas Jefferson, and Lord Acton, were critics of democratic rule. Some have gone as far as to suggest that modern democracy, rather than being a protector of freedom, provides fertile ground for the rise of tyranny. Bertrand de Jouvenel, in his book On Power, expressed this view. Conceived as the foundation of liberty, modern democracy paves the way for tyranny. Born for the purpose of standing as a bulwark against power, it ends by providing power with the finest soil it has ever had in which to spread itself over the social field. To understand how democracy, far from preventing tyranny, can pave the way for it, the common notion that democracy is somehow synonymous with freedom must be dispelled. In a democracy, one is given the opportunity to partake in the political process through voting or running for office. In exchange for being permitted these rights, one is expected to obey the will of the majority. But being required to obey the will of a majority can be just as antithetical to freedom as being forced to obey the will of a lone tyrant.
So you got a peep game. Okay, with democracy, it's the rule of the majority. Well, if a small group, okay, which controls the media, which controls the music, the school curriculum, the college curriculum, okay, which control the economy. All right. If that small group controlled all these things, well, they can persuade, okay, the masses to think a certain way. So you're thinking, all right, that okay, it's democracy, so we're dealing with the majority. Okay, this is what the people want. Okay, but nah, you've been coerced. Okay, if a brother can put the definition for coerced. You see, people are coerced to think and feel a certain way with all these ideologies that Esau enchants the masses with, and then this man is a high level witch, so he enchants the masses through media, through movies, through music, okay, through popular culture, okay, to think a certain way. So pretty much he has the masses thinking like him, A brother can get that too in Sirach 10 and 2, as the judge, so are the people. You see? So he runs America mainly, but this whole beast system, but mainly in America, democracy is just a ski mask, man. Okay, on the tyrants that really run, all right, America, man, which are the elites, man. Okay, and you see what they shoving down your throat now. Okay, laws to where your children can, 5-year-olds can say, look, I want to be, okay, I want to be, Timmy wants to be Cynthia, 5 years old. 5-year-old Timmy can choose to be Cynthia, and the parents, in some states, the parents can do nothing about it. Okay, but they say, well, this is what the majority wants. Okay, this man's a goddamn devil, man. That's why the scripture referred to, all right, the serpent being what? More subtle than any beast of the field. Okay, you see, coerce. It says coercing, to cause someone to do something by force or threat. Okay? And they do it with light force now. You see? You have to get a driver license because of what? Tickets. Okay? Different fines. That's causing someone to do something by force or fine. You see? It's forcing you to do something. Car insurance, you forced to do those things, man. Okay? Didn't they do that with the juice? A lot of people lost jobs, businesses, behind what? A force or a threat. Okay, so they coerce you into even if it's a light force, of you just being a social outcast. If you're not with, the status quo, just the threat of being a social outcast, gets people to fold, man. You got this council culture. What is that, man? That's a threat. If you speak out against this, you can be, you can be counseled, man. Okay? So people are coerced, all right, into tyranny, man. All right? He does it real light. Just like boiling the frog in water. He does it, real on a real light level, then he slowly turns up the heat, man. All right? This is the brother Bayan Yashala. Okay. It says, as the judge of the people is himself, so are his officers, man. So as these elites are, so as these different politicians and prime ministers and all these people that we see in power over these nations, man. Okay? Because they're nothing but officers of the elites. The elites are the ruling class, all right, of Edomites that rule the earth, man. And these different politicians, even these different tech giants, are nothing but officers of the elites. Elon Musk, Bezos, okay? They do the biddings of the elites. Gates, BG, the original BG, man. Okay? It says, in what manner of man the ruler of the city is such a all they that dwell therein. All right? And that's why you see the masses of the people think like a goddamn Edomite, man. Okay? Niggas think like Edomites, man. Okay? That's why they so destructive. And niggas do they people any type of way for a come up, man. That's how Esau moves, man. Okay. So I'm gonna let the rest of it play. Let some more of it play.
As the economist John Wenders put it, there is a difference between democracy and freedom. Freedom cannot be measured by the opportunity to vote. It can be measured by the scope of what we do not vote about. The threat that arises when a society accepts that a majority of people, through their votes, can force minorities to behave in a manner other than their choosing is known as the tyranny of the masses. Benjamin Franklin famously referred to this when he wrote, "Democracy is two wolves and a lamb voting on what they are going to have for lunch." However, as was mentioned earlier, a tyranny of the masses may not be the most serious threat facing the West. Rather, the structure of modern democracies minimizes the potential impact that the will of the majority exerts on social and economic affairs. To understand why this is the case, the distinction must be made between two types of democracy: direct democracy and indirect democracy. Direct democracy involves people casting votes on specific issues, usually by means of a referendum. Under this type of democracy, one could properly say that the majority rules, and thus the threat of a tyranny of the masses is real. But this is not the type of democracy in existence in the West. Rather, Western nations are indirect democracies, whereby people vote for politicians, and the elected politicians are given the power to decide on the issues at hand. Indirect democracies minimize the amount of power vested with the people as compared with a direct democracy. In fact, popular participation in modern Western democracies, save for occasional referendums, basically amounts to nothing more than favoring one or another of the major political parties who share more similarities than differences. Elected politicians are not required to behave in a manner they believe is consistent with the will of their constituents, nor are they required to keep the promises they made to get elected. Rather, politicians once in power are far more influenced by lobbyists, special interests, and their own personal gain. This issue of minimal power in the hands of the people is compounded by the fact that in Western democracies, there exists a vast and ever-expanding number of unelected bureaucrats who are responsible for many of the rules and regulations which govern society. However, this belief that voting puts ultimate power in the hands of the people remains widely held, even in the face of so much evidence to the contrary. In fact, this illusory belief has created a situation where, as the philosopher Hans Hermann Hoppe wrote, under democracy the distinction between the rulers and the ruled becomes blurred. The illusion even arises that the distinction no longer exists, that with democratic government no one is ruled by anyone, but everyone instead rules himself. Accordingly, public resistance against government power is systematically weakened. This weakened resistance, which arises from the belief that power resides with the people, has paved the way for Western governments to subsume control of ever more areas of social and economic life. And it is this centralization of power, not a tyranny of the masses, that may be the greatest threat to Western nations. To comprehend the dangers that arise and the misery that ensues from unbridled centralization of government power, one must only look to the history of the many countries that moved too far in that direction in the 20th century, be it Soviet Russia, Communist China, Nazi Germany, Cuba, or North Korea. These countries centralized power and controlled the lives of their citizens to a degree never before seen in history, and to a level which obviously exceeds that experienced in the modern West. But the centralization of government power seen in Western democracies today is not different in kind from the centralization of power seen in the totalitarian regimes of the 20th century, but rather differs only in degree. In fact, some suggest that those who live in modern democracies are subject to what can be called a soft totalitarianism, in contrast to the more brutal 20th century version of totalitarian rule. Alexis de Tocqueville foresaw this type of rule and described it in his great work Democracy in America. After having taken each individual one by one into its powerful hands and having molded him as it pleases, the sovereign power extends its arms over the entire society. It covers the surface of society with a network of small, complicated, minute, and uniform rules, which the most original minds and the most vigorous souls cannot break through to go beyond the crowd. It does not break wills, but it softens them, bends them, and directs them. It rarely forces action, but it constantly opposes your acting. It hinders, it represses, it enervates, it extinguishes, it stupefies. And finally, it reduces each nation to being nothing more than a flock of timid and industrious animals.
You see that? What did you have? Recently, like I said, council culture. Here it is. Do you understand us? Here it is. We're grown as hell, but we gotta say code words. Okay, we gotta say the juice, the MOTB. Okay, great. Okay, old as hell. Saying code words, man. Why? Because it's a soft totalitarian, man. You see, they've constantly just eased in a totalitarian rule, man. Okay, you telling your kids not to cuss, but the government telling us how to talk, man. You tell your kids not to say this, don't say. Well, the government is telling us that, man. Okay, there's no sovereignty. All right, but hey, the illusion of freedom. People like you vote for, like he said, America has an indirect, indirect democracy, which they vote for representatives that's supposed to represent the masses. You vote for these different, offices that are supposed to represent the masses, man. Okay, the representatives of Texas, the representatives of Alabama, the representatives of the state of California. Okay, but just like he said, democracy has blurred the lines of what a rulership is. To people think that they're not even being ruled anymore. Okay, that's why you can go to your average person and ask them, well, you can go to people that have been in California for 30, 40 years and ask them who's the representatives of California. They don't know. Okay, ask them who's the representatives of Mississippi. We don't know them niggas, man. Okay, no one cares about that, man. Esau has showered people with, and see, technology and convenience has blinded the minds to the to the totalitarian rule, okay, that's being eased, okay, into society, man. As long as people have their convenience, their social media, long as people can drink, eat, and get their rocks off, people don't care what's going on, man. Long as the Uber Eats continue to show up, they can Uber, people getting Uber to the gas station and back, like people are chilling, because it gives you so much convenience, all right, and these false liberties, man, pretty much a privilege. Democracy gives you privileges, not freedom, man. Okay, it gives you permission. You see, but bro, let's get that definition. Brother, get that definition. Prisoner. Permission. Bible shot. All right. All right. This is the elder brother Michael Olive. Shalom. How about you, my Shabbat? That's good. This is GMS Encouragement 144, Isaiah 29:21. It said that make a man an offender for a word. Okay. Here it is. A nigga can drop an album. Okay. A nigga got a song on the radio saying, you telling the woman, let me stroke your throat. Don't mean to be vulgar, but this nigga got this is the number one single, but we can't even say a medical term. Jake calling women throat babies on niggas on tour. Okay. but we can't talk about the herbs like that. We can't say no Hebrew prayers. You see, you guys, goddamn. You see, it says that make a man an offender for a word and lay a snare for him that reprove it in the gates and turn aside the just for a thing of naught. Okay, and this is what we're seeing a build up to. They really want to do away, with the word. Okay, this man wants to completely do away, all right, with the teaching, man, and anyone else that opposes him. But he really finna take it to a level to where you speak out, okay, he gonna come end you, man. Okay, because council culture is really, he want to counsel the culture of righteousness, man. He want a complete satanic society in the earth, man. That's why he's grooming the children the way he's grooming them now with alphabet, man. This generation gone. Like he done already enchanted this our generation, of adults gone. Anyone that's outside of the elect, they're gone. He's already did the work on them. Okay, they're completely. You can have all these red pill movements. The Eve gone. The majority of them gone, except a few, sisters that the Lord gonna have mercy on. Eve is finished. It's done. Okay, all these different movements. The alpha male and all this generation is finished. It's already defiled and corrupted, man. Ruined. He's on to something else now. So he's pretty much finna tell this society to shut the hell up. This generation, he's finna go hard body, on this generation of adults. All right, you finna shut your ass up and let us have our way with this next generation. Okay? This generation, he's like, look, y'all washed up, Hey, let me play the rest of it, then we'll. Yep, let's get the definition for permission. Yep, this the brother. All right, Elder Michael Allah, GMS Encouragement 144. And it says, I want to get that. Get the definition. Let me see. Yep. That was okay. That's the example. Let me get the definition. Then we get the example. Permission. It says consent or authorization. Okay. Now you go to an example. It said they had entered the country without permission. Here it is. You need permission to travel. Okay. That wasn't so. You didn't have to have permission to travel. Okay. In any other government, man. A passport. The fact that it's passport, bro, shows that you needed permission. You needed authorization. You needed consent. Okay? And you look at it the same way that you rule over your children, the government rules over the people, man. Okay? There's another one, said act of allowing. So how are you free when you need to be allowed? Okay. Well, you think that a man needed a license to fish, to hunt? You need a license. That's permissions, man. Okay. Here it is. You got 100 acres of land, but then you still gotta go ask a nigga to hunt on your land. This is supposed to be your land. You got 100 acres, been in a family for 2 centuries, but you gotta go ask a nigga to hunt on your land. This is a hell of a freedom, man. Okay. So I'm gonna let the rest of it play, then we'll get back to it.
Of which the government is the shepherd. Prior to the rise of totalitarian rule, social relations among people were dominated by a multiplicity of different institutions and associations, which were independent of government, such as markets, guilds, churches, private hospitals, universities, fraternities, charities, monasteries, and most importantly, the primal community of the family. These independent associations and institutions, while providing great societal benefits, also acted as barriers to the expansion of government power. Thus, the destruction and replacement of these more diverse forms of community with relationships between the individual and the state was a crucial step for the rise of powerful centralized governments and the totalitarian rule that centralization breeds. As Robert Nisbet wrote in The Quest for Community, extermination of individuals that is ultimately desired by totalitarian rulers. What is desired is the extermination of those social relationships which, by their autonomous existence, must always constitute a barrier to the achievement of the absolute political community. The prime object of totalitarian government thus becomes the incessant destruction of all evidence of spontaneous autonomous association. To destroy or diminish the reality of the smaller areas of society, to abolish or restrict the range of cultural alternatives offered individuals, is to destroy in time the roots of the will to resist despotism in its large forms. In places like Nazi Germany and Soviet Russia, the destruction of institutions independent of the state was done quite rapidly and with the use of much violence. The same process, however, has been occurring in modern democracies, such as Canada, the US, and England, but at a slower pace and with less violence. Rather than using violence, these countries have relied primarily on propaganda, the effectiveness of which has drastically increased with the development of modern technology. Propaganda, wrote Noam Chomsky, is to a democracy what the bludgeon is to a totalitarian state. But what must be emphasized is that the dangers of centralization remain no matter the speed at which it proceeds. Nor do the dangers disappear just because voting allows those in Western countries to choose whom is granted the immense power associated with the highest offices of government. As Lysander Spooner famously wrote, "A man is nonetheless a slave because he is allowed to choose a new master once in a term of years." Eventually, centralization of government power creates a so-called turnkey tyranny, where one must continually trust that the elected politicians and the bureaucrats they appoint will not abuse the immense power at their disposal. However, as the powers granted to one's government increase, so does the likelihood for abuse of this power. As Alexander Solzhenitsyn warned in his book The Gulag Archipelago, unlimited power in the hands of limited people always leads to cruelty. But even if one trusts in the goodness of one's politicians, the fact remains that governments cannot effectively manage economies, and that politicians are never wise enough to take over and decide social issues for millions of diverse individuals. Rather, a society in which the government takes over and controls ever more areas of life is also a society which is very susceptible to collapse. For as James Cald put it, if all social order becomes dependent on the administrative state, when that becomes terminally corrupt and non-functional, everything goes.
Yep. And there you have it, man. And just like the elder said, wow, that's why feminism was so important to the agenda. Come. And see, that's why I've been, in the spirit, I've been going into these things lately to show you the bigger picture of the agenda. It's not that I woke up mad at a woman, or, had a bad breakup. I know brother, sister, probably, y'all must have a heartbreak, but like, nah, you go into these things to show you what this devil has been doing and how we got to this point of dysfunction, man. This was all planned and systematic. Okay? Remember, we always go into these things to show the why, because we can always go to a law or we can always go to precepts that prevent, society from getting to this point. Okay? This is what the Bible did. All right? If a brother can put that dealing with respect of persons. Okay? Now, I want to get this. And that's why Yahushua told the disciples, I want to find it real quick. I think it's, yeah. So let me get these real quick. Yep. The destruction of a nation, man. Okay. Like when like the brother, Elder Mike Allah, I know him, and Elder Ariala, they heavy into the boxing. But when you in the boxing match, when you go to the corner, what is your corner telling you, man? They're telling you what the opponent is doing, how he's trying to pick you apart. Okay? The corner is talking to you, and this is how it is, in these lessons, we telling you like, okay, this is what this devil is doing to you. When you go in the ring, which is called life, this is how this devil is playing you. This is he did the body, the kidney, because taking the father out the house, there was a kidney shot, man. Just give an example, but this is what, hey, when you in the ring, and we've been getting beat to sleep, but now we see what this devil has been doing the whole time, man. We bring these things out. Okay. Let's get that. Over to the blue letter. Now, let's get this. All right, this is Proverbs 29:2. It says, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. Okay? And you see that the earth is in the state of mourning, man. Okay? So let's go here to the blue letter, because the wicked are in rulership. Now, let's get this, because what did Yahushua? All right, let's get the book of Luke 22. What did Yahushua tell the disciples? Because see, the disciples, all right, which later became apostles, will be the top leaders under Yahushua in Israel. Okay? But what was he telling them? All right, now this is Luke 22:24. It says, and there was also a strife among them, which of them should be accounted the greatest. And he said unto them, the kings of the Gentiles exercise lordship over them. Okay? Which is these dictatorships, man. Okay? You're not supposed to be in another man's business to that degree. There is supposed to be a structure and law. Okay? But to try to dictate a man's every move, and even just in America, you only supposed to have one woman. Like, come on, another man, the scripture tell you the way between a man and his woman, who can know? You and your woman are not supposed to present your problems to a court. Okay? Those things are supposed to be solved in-house. A government is not supposed to be, telling the man what he should supposed to pay to take care of his child, man. Okay? These things should be understood. You see? And it says, and they that exercise authority upon them are called benefactors, man. But ye shall not be so. But he that is greatest among you, let him be as the younger, and he that is chief is he that doth serve, man. Okay? Because the decision of leadership is supposed to benefit the people that they're ruling. Okay? So a ruler is a servant through their decision making and their policies that they push forth. Okay? It's supposed to be beneficiary, all right, to the people they're serving. In this society, it's all about the people benefiting the ruler. Okay, what they call capitalism, man. Okay, and then elder brother Michael Allah, he goes into that, man. That capitalism, man. That free, market, capitalism that's big in this society, man. Okay. All right. Well, you have these. That's why you have these super extremely rich Edomites, because they're benefiting. That's why they have, it's certain things. Like I say, certain things you can't talk about, but hey, the medicines. Okay, they benefit off people being sick. They become super rich off sickness, man. Okay, and these are the people that rule. They capitalize off misery and sickness and death, and like the ruler, all right, is supposed to be a benefit to the masses, man. Okay, so let's go here and let's go into the law, because see, this is why when you go into the law, you see why the Lord set these things in place, man. All right. Let's see. Yep. This is the book of Leviticus 19 and 15. It says, ye shall do no unrighteousness in judgment. Thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty. And this is the exact opposite that what's going on now. See, what did this law prevent? Corruption. Okay? You're supposed to judge non-biased. Whether it was a family member, whether it was somebody that was popular, whether somebody that was beloved, amongst the people, like, nah, you would judge, okay, according to righteousness, man. You see? It says, thou shalt not respect the person of the poor, nor honor the person of the mighty, but in righteousness shalt thou judge thy neighbor. Okay? And this was coming back to the earth is what? A righteous government. You see? This is what we're fighting, all right, to be a part of the righteous government that's coming to the earth. All right? Because our people have trusted in these governments. Let's go here. Because remember, I don't know if y'all caught, what he said. He said democracy, I believe it was Benjamin Franklin that said it. Okay, I'll run it back. I want to harp on this point too. I was saying, as we understand, we go into the law prevents it getting to this, man. Okay. I want to. Yep, brother. Yep. It's a brother Kazak Bun Yahweh, the 2 Chronicles 19 and 6, and said to the judges, take heed what you do, for ye judge not for man, but for the Lord, who is with you in the judgment. You see? And this is a society that the Most High, all right, is not considered when it comes to judgment in this place, man. Okay? This place is all right. The Most High is not even considered when it comes to judgment in this society, man. Let's get that. 2 Chronicles 19 and 7. It says, wherefore now let the fear of the Lord be upon you. Take heed and do it, for there is no iniquity with the Lord our power, nor respect of person, nor taking gifts. And isn't this society based on bribery? Okay, if you got enough money, you pretty much can just murder and rob and just pay the right people off, man. Okay. But the laws prevented those things, man. Okay. The leadership has to be held accountable. See, Esau, there's no one holding this man accountable, and that's why judgment just pending for this man. Okay, let's get into. Let's get into this, man. You see, but under the government of Israel, all right, the judges was accountable to Yahweh Bashim Al-Shai. You couldn't just do what you want, like, nah, man. Okay? But Esau has been allowed to just continue in wickedness that he thinks that he doesn't have to answer to anyone, man. That he can judge the people how he wants. Okay? This is Joel 21 and 14 said, therefore they say unto the Most High, depart from us, for we desire not the knowledge of thy ways, man. Okay? What is the Almighty that we should serve him, and what profit should we have if we pray unto him? This is how these devils think, man. Okay? And they feel as if they're going to rule over the people in this same way, all right, forever, man. And this is what this man wants to do. This is why he wants to put devices in you, man. He wants to rule in a very tyrannical way forever, man. Okay? This man is bugged out. Okay? This is Isaiah 14:5. It said, the Lord had broken the staff of the wicked and the scepter of the rulers. And we see why the Lord is finna do this, man. This is an extremely wicked rulership. Okay? Verse 6, it said, he who smote the people in wrath with a continual stroke, he that ruled the nations in anger is persecuted, and none hindereth. Okay? And this man has ruled the earth with a continual stroke. All right? He ruled the nation's anger. All right? Through what, man? Tyranny, man. But he's so crafty, he has found a way to describe it as democracy, as liberty and freedoms. Okay, then he hype you up some more. You just celebrated Memorial Day. Okay, simple ass niggas finna get ready to celebrate Juneteenth. Okay, then you niggas gonna come back and double down with the 4th of July, man. The hell you people celebrate, man? Okay, niggas had you 6 feet apart. Okay, mask on, you at Home Depot on the forklift with a mask, Come on, man. The hell is you people, what freedom is you people celebrate, man? Nigga had curfew. Oh boy. Let's go from there, man. Let's tripping. But see, we got a governor, man. And that's gonna be in Yahweh Shai. Okay, he's gonna rule over Israel, and Israel is gonna rule over the earth. So let's go here. Let's get Matthew chapter 2, verse 6. And it says, and thou, Bethlehem, in the land of Judah, art not the least among the princes of Judah, for out of thee shall come a governor that shall rule my people Israel. Man, that's Yahweh Shai. Okay, and he's going to rule in righteousness, man. Let's get that in Psalms. Okay, he's going to rule in complete righteousness in the earth. All right, the reign of a righteous king. Psalm 72:1. It says, give the king thy commandments, O power, and thy righteousness unto the king's son. He shall judge thy people with righteousness and the poor with judgment. Okay? The mountain shall bring peace to the people, the government. Okay? The government is going to bring peace to Israel, man. What has this government brought? Oppression. Okay? More and more oppression, man. And now he wants to put something in you so he can bring more oppression, man. Remember, the thief come not but to steal, kill, and destroy. The little piece of liberty and freedom that you do got, he wants to take that. That little piece of joy that you do got in this society, he wants to take that. Okay? Verse 4. It says, he shall judge the poor of the people. He shall save the children of the needy and shall break in pieces the oppressor. Okay? Which is Esau Edom. And this is what we await Yahweh Shai to do, man. And we await a righteous kingdom, man. This ain't it. Like we, the Most High has beat our ass with this wicked kingdom, man. To the point where we just haste, we thirst for righteousness in the earth, man. Okay? We cheer the nuclear destruction of this place, man. You see? This is 2 Peter 3:11 says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons are you to be in holy conversation and godliness, man? We should be serious minded about, righteousness, all right, being established in the earth, man. Okay? That's why it's about the inward man being changed, man. Jake want to put fringes on everything, but even Nate ruling like a tyranny, man. Nate a tyrant. He refuses for his congregation to get the truth, man. You know, he's pretty much holding them hostage with false doctrine, man. ISUPK, Sakari, all them guys, man. They're pretty much tyrants over Jake. Here it is, you look, 150 million. You see? And these private people in IUIC don't have a car. You know? That's tyrannical, man. And he's telling lies, man. He's giving you a doctrine of death, man. And that's tyrannical. You see, and that's why Yahweh Shai told and he was talking to them niggas back then, man. The leaders back then, because all them niggas back, man, in them same positions, man. Okay? Having their way over with Jake, man. But majority of them Israelites was given to them niggas for destruction, man. Okay? It says, seeing then that all these things shall be dissolved, what manner of persons ought ye to be in all holy conversation and godliness, man, looking for and hastening to the coming day of the Most High, wherein the heavens being on fire shall be dissolved, and the elements melt with fervent heat. And that's the nukes, man. The Lord is finna nuke democracy, man. Okay? Going back to the fashion of this world passes away, man. So we should be conforming to what? Righteousness. Because all this is finna be wiped away. The landmass America gonna be gone. The concept of a democracy, okay, and wickedness is finna be removed out the earth, man. Verse 13 said, nevertheless, we according to his promise look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. Okay? We look for a new heavens and a new earth wherein dwelleth righteousness, man. You know, so, you know, that's the point. You know, I'll, you know, I'll make another video just going into that quote from Benjamin Franklin, you know, dealing with democracy, man. You know, so that's the point. You know, Lord will, you brothers. All right, and you few sisters edified. Till next time, I say Shalom. Kwam Yashala, Abba, detail you soon. Shalom.